Good morning, David. We're here at Spiritual Reflections with the Academy of Spiritual Awakening. Oh, I love that smile. Looks like you got some joy going on today.
Well, every day's a choice
Or not.
or
Or
not.
not, it
That's
feels
right.
like, right?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I really appreciate us being here every Wednesday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time for 9 minutes together. And we've really gotten in a great flow of being able to share with people some good information and some resolutions or solutions, you might say, within our 9 minute space. And the biggest thing, you and I talked about before we came on air was, the feeling, within consciousness, within humanity, within the United States, and kind of everywhere is this feeling of discontent, divine discontent. It's not maybe just us, it may be something divine connected to it. And it's kind of like the idea of what the heck's going on. I kind of get in that place a lot these days. And so let's see what you have with regard to that.
Absolutely. There's discontent, which would be a more outer, I'm discontent with my job, I'm discontent with how I look, I'm discontent. But this is something that's happening inwardly and not
Okay.
due to what's happening outwardly. So that's why I
Okay.
call it divine discontent. We
Oh,
often think that our answer is to
good
fix
point.
ourselves, but at the same time, we don't spiritually discern that some kind of inner potential is awakening in us that
Mm,
we've not been aware of, and it's showing itself. It's almost
mm,
like a seed being planted and a pregnancy takes place and something starts forming inside the physical body. Well, I think something spiritual is forming itself. It reminds me of a biblical scripture, if I could use it, that is so powerful, but it's supposedly the Apostle Paul writing to the church of his time and saying, I'm going to be with you, travail with you, labor with you until Christ be formed in you. So
wow.
metaphysically, we can understand that Christ represents a part of ourselves that has awakening in us and it's ready to come forth into our life. So as it does, and as any mother knows, a pregnancy can make one uncomfortable,
Yeah.
right? Everything's uncomfortable because of what's growing inside. So let's take that to a more spiritual point of view, if we could, and realize that there's something inside all of us that is ready to be birthed into our life. Let me give you a definition of what I call divine discontent. It's a type of stress due to an inner pushing from higher spiritual levels.
Okay.
So there's something in the higher part of our consciousness that has not been activated due to outward stimulation. In other words, religion didn't really stimulate it. Maybe education didn't. Maybe politics definitely didn't. But it's awakening in us, much like the little caterpillar who's on its way to become the butterfly, but doesn't know at some point what it's going to become, right? It just
Right.
knows it's uncomfortable as the caterpillar that it is, and it feels something inside growing that is going to birth it into become something different. And I think this is happening with humanity. And I think a lot of people do not realize that this is maybe a spiritual thing that is happening for people to do that. So
Mm-hmm.
when that begins to happen, we go through something called the dark side of the soul. And I
Yeah.
really suggest that people out there that might at any point hear us in this conversation who are resonating to this idea, find a skilled spiritual director who can help you get through the dark side of the soul. And this is different than standard psychological counseling. This is
Right.
someone that can discern what's going on with people. But if something is happening and that's evolutionary, that is for the higher good that is happening, then we need to understand that and know that I'm not broken. I don't need to be fixed. I didn't do anything wrong. This is not a punishment. Oh my God, everything has failed. The world is falling apart. The sky is coming down. It's all a shift in that perception of, wow, something is changing and something is happening that's going to be the higher good for myself individually and for humanity at large.
Yeah, I'm always bringing myself back. You know, what's in my highest good is going to be in the highest good for everybody else too. Because if I'm in alignment with my divine purpose, the blueprint I came in with, as you say quite often, then from that place I can operate and be fully of service. You know, fully feeling like I'm in the right place. You know, to assist others. And what you're saying is that there's some potential that is desiring to bloom or blossom is
Yes,
just a wonderful viewpoint to come from with that inner kind of discontent that we sense and feel.
yes. And one thing that we teach in the teachings here is that we teach that this outer package of ourself is not really our authentic spiritual self that we were
Right.
created to be. And because we have lost that true identity of who we truly are as a created being, and we've become this form, this physical, mental, emotional, external human, that we've lost our identity. So when
Mm-hmm.
that identity starts waking up, then that begins to put everything else kind of in a state of chaos. Or
Yes.
using my metaphor of the pregnancy again, the mother goes into the labor pains, right? That's not a comfortable
Right.
thing to go through. But then there's a saying that says, "But joy cometh in the morning." And I know that is true. This is my daughter's birthday
Uh-huh.
tomorrow. And I was just, of course, reminiscing because of that and thinking about the labor that my wife went through at that time for hours and hours and hours, and I'm sure went through times of, oh my God, what have I done? I got to go through this, and that was a hard time to go through the labor part of it. But when they placed that little baby girl in our arms, joy came in the morning, so to speak, as it says, and you forget the pain that you went through. And I just want people to be encouraged that I know these are rough times and challenging times, especially what's going on here in America and around the world
Right.
politically and every way. But I do think that this is the birth pains that we've collectively entered into. And I don't think, I want to know that joy will come within the morning and everything is evolving to a higher state. And so if people
Yeah.
know that, you're going to find an inner strength.
Well, that's what we've designed the Academy for Spiritual Awakening website. You know, if people go to davidhalls.com, they're going to find lots of ways and methods. If they're seeking a way to become more settled and more connected with the divine purpose within them, or going through a belief crisis, like you and I have been through, what we are offering there for seekers, explorers, and awakeners is a threefold gateway that people can walk through as a resource for the pain they might feel like they're experiencing so that they can come to that joy and find that joy through the various offerings that we have there. And that free sampler is there at davidhalls.com if anyone wants to get a start and sample out, you know, what you've shared with us from your 60 plus years being in ministry and having walked the path, you know, blaze the trail in a sense. So thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I know I was kind of born with a yearning to know. Even as a young child, I just had that, I want to know why. And I
Yeah.
think there's other people that are kind of conscious born in that way who have always been a seeker, a searcher, that they didn't settle for the status quo, but always knew that they was here for the reason of to grow and to evolve. And we have to go through those times of the breakdown of old paradigms to really enter into new paradigms that are awakening in each and every one of us.
Well, I'm glad that we offer this 9 minute segment every Wednesday as something short that people can tune into and that you have the resources you have at davidhalls.com. So thank you very much for getting together again. And I look
Yes.
forward to next Wednesday as well.
Thank you, Randall. Have a
All
good
right.
day.
Take care.
Feeling I am open wide. I am gentle healing. I am open wide. I am open to complete